Hey guys, it's Walaladico here. I'm at the Huddersfield Mercedes today, and I'm here to review the EQA. Now, if you're local to Bradford, Huddersfield, Brigads, even late Manchester, this is where you want to be. You want to come to Huddersfield Mercedes. They have fantastic staff that will help you with any motoring requests, especially EVs. They are leading the way concerning EVs. You can see this is the EQC. I have the EQC right there. They have a whole bunch of hybrid cars. For some of you who are panicking about going full electric, at least you have the backup for petrol or for diesel, if you prefer. But my focus today would be to review the all-electric EQA. Some of you have been asking about this, and I'm going to be looking into this deeply. Okay, so stay with me, and I'm going to get you through the entire car. Okay, now look at this. What do you think about the front? This is the AMG line version. You can see the two bars. They just cut across. And what is very interesting is the grille. It's been totally blocked out because, of course, it's an electric car. It does not need airflows as much as the internal combustion engines would. So that's why it's nicely blocked out. And you can see the entire look is a little bit more aggressive because it's the AMG line version. Now, if you compare it with the EQC, you can see why it looks like the baby sister. The EQC is a little bit larger, and my EQC right here is the sport version, not the AMG line version. But if you look at the AMG line EQC, you realize that that's a resemblance to the EQA. Now, the EQA can do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 8.9 seconds. Not super quick, but actually it's quicker than the figure suggests. If you drive the EQA rather, as I've been speaking to Craig is the manager here, and he's been driving this for the last few months. He said it's actually quicker than you could imagine. It can take care of all your motoring needs. Now, one thing I'd like you to look at, to think about regarding the EQA is that the starting price actually is around £40,500. So that is after the government, you've deducted the government grant, which is about £3,000 for buying an electric car. So about £40,000. Are you kidding? Now the EQC right there is £65,500 just starting. So you're going to save over £25,000 buying the EQA. Is that not fantastic? Absolutely fantastic. Now, there's some compromises, by the way, but with regards to the range, they are very similar. Even the EQA delivers about 268 miles per single charge. The EQC 250, but you don't actually get 250 or 268 miles in real life, but they are very close. And another thing that you might compromise on is the boot space. If you can just come and look at the boot space right here, right there. But I just want to show you the boot space right here. It's a little bit less roomy than the EQC. I think this is about, if I'm not wrong, maybe about 350 liters. And the EQC is a lot bigger, maybe about a little bit less than 500 liters. Sorry about my own stuff right there, but you can see that it's larger. It's larger, and just compare with this. It is a little bit less than the EQC. And what else do you compromise on? The next thing you compromise on is just a little bit of the seating arrangement inside, which I'm going to show you right now. Okay, how does it feel sitting in the EQA? It feels like a Mercedes. Remember, this is fashioned after the petrol diesel engine EQA. So there's not a lot of difference apart from the fact that this is an electric car. So it feels like a Mercedes, nice and well laid out. And we have the touchpad right there, and we have the long screen just like the one in the EQC, but the air vents are different. The air vents in the EQC are specifically designed with the almost like a copper type of design, and this is like a traditional air vent, and all your regular controls are laid out there, which I like. I like buttons, especially for the things that we use most of the time. And we have the storage place here, which is sizable. You have you have your USB-C right there. I think you have your charging point there right there as well. And I think this is usually, you can actually upgrade this to be the wireless charging point for your car. I like this resting place actually. This one is not in the EQC, so you rest your wrist while you do this, which is fantastic. And of course, you have a storage place right here, which is very generous. Also, you have one USB-C there. Okay, the back seat a bit smaller than the EQC, and the sitting arrangement is a little bit different. I think because the batteries are underneath, so they make the seat in a way that you sit. It's comfy, but it's like there's not a lot of resting place for your hamstring area. I would have preferred the seat to come up a little bit so that you sit a little bit higher, but I think they're thinking about the leg and the headroom. That is why they've made it lower down, which is fine. This is my driving position right there, and there's plenty of room there. So we have the armrest right here, which is nice and sturdy, and you have your two cup holders right there. You have your vents, your air vents, and there's one USB-C here, which is where the world is going eventually. So they're being futuristic. So I think that's everything. So what do you think? What do you think about the EQA? And possibly what you're looking for right now is, how does it drive? And what's the range? How does it charge? We're going to be talking about that soon. Okay, it's time to start. Let's see how this drives. Okay, the first thing you notice, just as it is in the EQC, is the fact that you just have to press the button, the stop button, right there. And what happens? Apart from the radio that can just stop right there, you realize that almost everything is the same functionality. The only thing that you notice is the green ready. That green ready right there, it shows that it's time for the car to drive. Then we have a gear right here. Press the gear down, that's drive. Up, that's reverse. And then middle is neutral or park. You can press the little button right there for the park. So I press it down, and you press it down when you press the brakes. If you don't press the brakes, that doesn't work. Okay, and the car just goes. The first thing that you notice is the effortlessness that the EQA just glides around. You can tell that it's a lot lighter than the EQC. A lot lighter than the EQC. Okay, it's time to go now. So we're going to give the EQA some test driving. We'll try the bumpy street roads, and we also want to try the motorway roads to see how it drives. The first impression is that this car is built for day-to-day commuting. We have very soft materials everywhere, which is nice. It's a lot nicer than the material in my BMW 3 Series. I'm sure they've upgraded that a little bit in the newer version, the 2020-2021 version for the BMW 3 Series. So the touch of Mercedes is everywhere, and I particularly like these hair vents. I think they're very cool. The steering wheel is nice and proportionate. It's light enough. So one thing that you just experience straight away is that instant torque. This car delivers, I believe, about maybe 189 horsepower, and it does 0 to 62 miles per hour in about 8.9. The car just wants to go. It just wants to go. It's on D-Auto. D-Auto, by the way, you have your recuperation gears right here, paddle shifts, just like it is in the EQC. And if you hold the right paddle shift about 2 to 3 seconds, it goes into the D-Auto, and the D-Auto cruises, and it slows you down depending on the road condition and the speed limit. So the speed limit for this road right here is 40, and the car intelligently knows that, and it does not allow you to go past that. But you can go past that, but it gives you warning. Now it just drives with ease, drives very easily, and I could see why this is going to be like people's car. You could tell that it doesn't have the extra weight that the EQC has. Now, going over the bumps, it does very well. Look at that. I've just gone into some bad roads, side roads, and the EQA deals with the bumps very well. I'm not sure whether this has got the adaptive suspension, but that is an option that you can get into. But whatever suspension this has, it deals with the bumps very, very well. So my overall impression is a very nice car to drive. Yeah, very, very nice car to drive. If you don't need a whole bunch of room, because the boot space is not as big. It's sufficient. You can still fit a lot in. You might want to save yourself a lot of money, over £25,000, and go for the EQA. As far as I'm concerned, I'm enjoying driving it. Yeah, it's just a pleasure to drive. What really stands out for me is the lightness, because I've been driving the EQC for a while now, You can still, even though the EQC drives very smoothly, you can still know that it's a heavier car. And this being a lot lighter and smaller, it just glides around easily. I think it's about 2 tons as well, 2 tons lighter. So it's not overly lighter than the EQC. EQC is about 2,400 kilograms, about 2.5 tons. This one is about maybe 2 tons heavy, but it doesn't drive like that. So if you're watching me and you're in the local area, you want to call Huddersfield Mercedes, whether you live in Brick House, you live in Huddersfield area, Bradford, and Halifax, Ekmond-Wike, Disbury, and different regions close to this area, you want to give Craig a call. They will do you good. They would look after you for any EVs or any hybrids. They've got a whole bunch of hybrids. Some of you are thinking maybe you need to go hybrid because of the extra cushion of a petrol engine that you have access to, just in case you are not as confident going all electric yet. So far so good. It's been good. We've been averaging maybe about 2.5 kilowatt hour, and it's dealt with the local roads pretty well. And the driving position is quite symmetrical. You feel like you are where you're supposed to. It's got the double stitch just across the dash, which is nice, and it's got the ambient lights as well, about 64 different colors that you can choose from. Also you can multicolor if you want. So it is it's interesting. In terms of charging, this car can charge up to, I think, about 100 kilowatt speed. So it also accepts 11 kilowatt wall box home charger, and it's got about 66.5 kilowatt hour battery capacity, which delivers about 265 miles per single charge, and that is fantastic. A little bit more than the EQC. The EQC delivers about 255 if you manage to do it well. So you can charge this. That means you can charge it from 0 to 80%. You can charge the EQA from 0 to 80% if you have a very super fast charger for about 30 minutes, which is fantastic. So it takes up to 100 kilowatt hour speed. So if you go to fast chargers like Ionity chargers, that delivers up to 350 kilowatts. So this car can be recharged in less than 30 minutes when you're having a break, when you're traveling. With regards to the corners, it deals with the corners very much. It grips the road. I'm just going around the roundabout again. I'm supposed to have come off. You can see how he's just dealing with it. He's dealing with it okay, apart from the fact that I have to stop for these car carrier. So very, very impressed with the drive. Very, very Mercedes-like. There's no force, just easy driving. Now let's go and test the motorway driving and see how that holds. So if I put my foot down, the car moves. Fantastic. It moves. It has almost everything that you will need in a modern car. And of course, this particular car is very good regarding the benefit in kind for business travelers. So if you get it as part of the company car, the benefit in kind is about almost 1%, as opposed to like 35% regarding the GLC, which is petrol, or GLC petrol diesel. So it makes an economic business car for your taxis. The further it's cheaper, if you don't need a lot of room, like we have in the EQC or in the Audi e-tron, go for this car. You save a lot of money. I think it's got almost everything that you need. And the MBUS system is very intelligent. You can program where you're going, and it programs automatically for you your charging points, where you're going to charge from, which is fantastic. And if you've watched my videos, you've probably have seen the video on how to activate the Mercedes Me Charge. Now you want to do that if you're driving any Mercedes EQ cars, because when you're traveling on the motorways, the charging is very expensive. For example, the Ionity fast chargers will charge you 69 pence. 69 pence per kilowatt hour. You cannot survive on that. That's too much. So you need to go and watch my video on how to activate the Mercedes Me Charge. And what that does is that it helps you to take advantage of the discount that Mercedes has already activated for you. So that is good, absolutely good. And you can use the Ionity charger, you can use the Charge Masters, you can use a few other ones that have been discounted for you, but you have to register first for the Mercedes Me Charge. It's a bit complicated. They don't make it very, very easy to do. But if you watch my video, it's very comprehensive, and you can take advantage of that. So the car is, it's adequate, very, very adequate. Just like a little baby sister of the EQC. So good. And I'm joined with Craig. Craig is in charge of your EV questions, orders, whatever you want about EV cars, even non-EV cars. There's a whole bunch of cars here. A lot of Mercedes, AMG, whatever you want. Just focusing on Mercedes. So I just want to ask a few questions with regards to, especially those of you who are a little bit panicky about switching over. And also regarding the EQA that I'm actually here for today. So, Craig, you've been also just driving the EQA for the past few days?
I've been driving it for the last few months, actually.
Good.
Really enjoying driving the car.
Oh, good. So what can you tell our viewers about how it actually drives compared to the twin sister, the combustion engine GLA?
I would say it's obviously a much quieter vehicle to drive.
Okay.
You've got a very similar drive in terms of the how the seating position is, how the viewing is while you're in the car, but the overall sort of the drive itself is very similar to driving a small SUV, a compact SUV. It's not a completely different car. It's just like driving a Mercedes.
Oh, good. Now, for those of us who might be thinking, full electric is just not for me at the moment. what would you advise if you get some of your EV? It's
If
your
you don't,
hybrid.
if you don't, if you're worried about being full electric, then there is obviously hybrid vehicles available in all the different models: A class, CLA, GLA, the bigger cars, C class, GLC. There's hybrid vehicles available in any different type, any model that you
Any
might
model.
want to
That's good.
drive. In most circumstances, electric vehicles are good for more people than they think they are, because the range is a lot more than what people would imagine. The EQC, for example, give you 255 miles.
There's the EQC, by the way.
EQA, 266 miles. And I've had 266 miles on the range of my car, so I know it's there, I know it works.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Now, because we're going to be talking to a lot of people from this area, Huddersfield, Bradford, Brighouse, even up to other neighboring cities and towns.
Yes.
What kind of offers have you got, and how can you help them? Are you competitive enough with regards to if you want to buy used or new?
Well, I think used cars, there aren't many used cars around at the moment because the EV cars are quite new to the market.
Yeah,
There is some hybrid cars that are available as used cars. We've had those around for sort of 4 or 5 years now, so there are a few of those cars around.
Okay.
In terms of new cars, there's £2,200 off an EQA at the moment. So there's
2,500.
yeah, so there's a good discount available on the EQA. From time to time they put on the free charges as well, so that's beneficial to customers.
That's good. That cost about. It cost me about. I think about everything together plus the government grant, about £800 or maybe £900.
Yeah, I mean you can get it for £499 with the grant and everything. So if you go through Mercedes, then the £499 is what customers of ours will pay.
Okay. So for all your contact, this is Huddersfield, Huddersfield Mercedes. And Craig, do you remember your phone number? I'm sure we're going to put it somewhere just in case.
01484
Go on.
455 500.
Do that again, sorry.
01484 455 500.
So that is the number. Call Craig, and any questions at all, please, he will be obliged to answer you. Thank you so much. All the very best. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.